This is the story of what arrived, what survived, and what nearly destroyed my living room. And hey, if you've ever made an impulsive aquarium decision after midnight, hit that subscribe button right now. Because here at Fish Tank Mastery, we turn regret into research and chaos into content. Number 6. Arapaima Gigas, the Amazon Titan. The box said, Juvenile Arapaima. What came out looked like a mussel with fins. At first it was charming, calm, slow, majestic. 2 months later, it was eating almost a kilogram of shrimp a day and staring at me like I owed it rent. Arapaima are living fossils. They breathe air through a modified swim bladder and can grow over 3 meters long. In a report published by the Amazon Conservation Institute in 2024, researchers found that captive Arapaimas increase oxygen intake by nearly 25% in still water, which explains why it kept surfacing like a submarine every half a minute. Here's something wild most people don't know. Arapaima scales are incredibly tough. They are made of flexible bone plates layered like armor. In fact, artisans in parts of Brazil and Peru have been known to use them for jewelry and ornaments, because the scales can actually reflect light like natural gemstones. A 2021 study from the Journal of Materials Science found that it takes the edge of a sharpened steel blade just to cut through one scale. So yeah, not only a monster fish, but a biological masterpiece. It's an ancient wonder, just not a living room pet. When it flinched, waves hit the lid. When it yawned, the goldfish flinched for their lives. Moral of the story? Some fish aren't tank mates, they're tenants. Number 5. Alligator gar, the armored relic. Every monster fish beginner falls for this one. You see that prehistoric snout, that calm, slow glide, and you think, he looks chill. He's not. Alligator gars have scales like bone armor and jaws strong enough to snap a net handle. According to a study from the University of Louisiana published in 2023, their bite pressure exceeds 300 newtons. That's roughly the same force as a car door closing on your hand. Mine didn't bite me, thankfully, but it did bite my heater cable clean in half. It would just hover there, motionless, eyes half closed, then explode into movement like a torpedo whenever something shimmered. Keeping one in a home tank felt less like fish keeping and more like sharing a bathtub with a crocodile that refuses to pay rent. Number 4. Bichir, Polypterus enlicari. This was supposed to be my safe purchase. The seller called it a gentle dinosaur fish. They weren't wrong, they just forgot to mention the appetite. Bichirs can breathe air, crawl on land, and have existed since before the dinosaurs went extinct. In 2022, researchers at Kyoto University observed juvenile bichirs using their limb-like fins to actually walk across surfaces, a living example of evolution. Mine used that same skill to climb out of the tank. I found it under my couch, covered in dust, alive and visibly offended. They're hardy, fascinating, and utterly prehistoric. But trust me, no lid, no peace. If curiosity built the fish world, the bichir would be its scientist, always exploring, never staying put. Number 3. Iridescent shark, Pangasianodon hypophthalmus. Online photos make them look peaceful, smooth, silver, elegant. Reality? A jittery torpedo that panics if you sneeze too loud. They're not sharks at all, but giant catfish from the Mekong River. They can reach about 1 meter in length and need open water to swim continuously. A Thai aquaculture study from 2021 found that iridescent sharks' stress hormones spike more than 200% in tanks smaller than 400 liters, which might explain why mine ricocheted off the glass like a pinball every time I turned on the light. They're beautiful, they mean well, but keeping one in a small tank feels like parking a race car in a closet. Number 2. Giant snakehead, Channa micropeltes. The apex predator, the reason half of Asia now bans them in the aquarium trade. I ordered one as a juvenile predator fish. The package might as well have said future lawsuit. Snakeheads breathe air, leap like missiles, and hunt anything that moves. According to the Smithsonian Review of Invasive Species, published in 2023, adult snakeheads can survive on land for up to 4 full days and migrate between ponds. Mine tried to jump during feeding and almost made it into the kitchen sink. They're brilliant creatures, responsive and even trainable, but also one tantrum away from turning your peaceful tank into a war movie. Number 1. Giant freshwater stingray, Urogymnus polylepis. This one didn't even fit in the shot. Wingspan, nearly 2 meters when fully grown. Graceful, silent, and surprisingly affectionate until feeding time. In 2022, researchers at Chulalongkorn University discovered that freshwater stingrays can detect electrical fields with 50 times the precision of most fish. That's why mine could sense me entering the room and expect dinner the moment I walked in. Watching it glide was like watching living silk. But maintaining water quality for a creature that eats like a horse? A different story entirely. I loved that ray, but releasing it to a sanctuary was the first time I felt both proud and humbled as a fish keeper. Because some monsters don't belong behind glass. Bonus: the monster I didn't buy. I almost clicked buy on a Goliath tigerfish. Then I saw a photo, teeth longer than my fingers. That was my wake-up call. In 2025, conservation scientists warned that wild populations of large river predators are collapsing due to illegal online exports. That's when I realized, just because you can buy a monster doesn't mean you should. If you've watched this far, you're not just curious, you're committed. You've officially joined the Fish Tank Mastery Crew, a community of aquarists who learn, laugh, and sometimes panic together. Here, we don't hide our mistakes, we study them, because every disaster tank is just a masterclass in disguise. So if you love learning the smart way, with fewer floods, fewer regrets, and way more aha moments, hit that subscribe button and dive deeper with us. The next episode, let's just say it involves forbidden fish and one very angry customs officer. Until then, keep your lids tight, your tanks balanced, and your curiosity flowing.